Give me the overall energy for this collective in love post-eclipse. What is their highest energy at this time? Oh, damn. Okay, so this is a collective that I feel like is moving out of a period of stress or tension around love. Okay? Thank you, my love. I feel this energy here of like, yes, looking on the bright side of something, or like seeing something from a perspective that feels more idealistic, okay? Optimistic. I feel this energy here of like something that used to bother you in love is not bothering you anymore, okay? And I feel for a lot of you, it's because you're shifting your focus. Shifting your focus. Specifically, could be shifting your focus around maybe a certain situation in love that feels kind of stuck. So I feel for some of you, like, this situation seems kind of stuck. So I'm going to focus on what is feeling like it's in flow, okay? I'm going to focus on the things in my life that feel like they're working for me, or like the people that are showing up for me, or the joy that I have, or the optimism I have, or like the blessings that already exist. Like, this is this energy of shifting into the frequency of gratitude, this attitude of gratitude, okay? But when you do that, what happens in spirit brings you more of said gratitude, like brings you more of said blessings. I feel for many of you, we're shifting into this place in which we're opening up to a more idealistic view, a more optimistic view. And this is helping spirit reward us. I feel like spirit is going to reward us for this shift. Yeah, thinking positively. But there was definitely a situation here that you feel like is kind of stuck. Okay? Who is the person this collective is connected to? Damn. I feel, okay, I'm going to read this two ways because I actually feel like there's two collectives here, okay? I feel like there's a collective here that was dealing with somebody that was not offering you what you deserved. So this relationship went into a period of no contact or went into a period of separation, or at least there was like a distance created because you felt like the old version of you, the unhealed version of you would have accepted whatever they were offering. But the more you healed yourself, the more you recognized that you are worthy of someone investing in you and choosing you and celebrating you and loving you. So you pulled your energy back. That's one collective. The person you were dealing with could have been an air sign, could have also been a Leo or a Virgo. Okay, that's one collective. There's another collective here that I feel like is in an actual relationship or connection in which you feel like things are unfair, right? You feel like things are unfair, or you feel like there's something about the relationship where you feel like the foundation is not strong. And you've tried to communicate, but maybe there's this sense of like feeling unheard. Feeling unheard, or like communicating till you're blue in the face. You're like, I've told you this a million times, but I don't feel like you're hearing me, or I don't feel like you're listening. So I feel like there's two unique collectives here. Okay? Now this first collective. The song right now is When Will I See You Again? I feel like everything in this energy here is like hinging on that. It's like, for some of you, it's like, you don't know whether you'll see this person again because you feel like this person might want to see you under like false premise or like false pretense. It's like maybe they want to see you, but they haven't made changes. Maybe they want to make plans with you, but you feel like they still don't have anything to offer. So I feel this struggle in this collective. I feel a struggle because there's definitely love here with this person. Okay? In that first collective energy. There's love here with this person. You definitely view this person as being a pivotal connection on your path. Maybe you feel like they're a twin flame, soulmate. But you also feel like you're at this place of reevaluation in this relationship. Reevaluation. Because this person, I feel like this is like no contact, limited contact. And I also feel this energy of this person wanting to reconnect with you or wanting to see you. But you questioning whether it's the right time. Or whether they've changed. Or whether the relationship is balanced. Like whether there is reciprocity. Whether it's fair for you to welcome them in or accept this because you feel like there still isn't something, like you don't have an aligned vision for the relationship. You don't feel like they're actually offering you anything. Okay? What does this person feel about my collective that they're connected to? I feel like they're trying to make steps towards you, but they do feel small. They do feel small. For some of you, this person, okay, if you are in contact with this person and it's limited, for some of you, this could be someone that's trying to keep you in like a situationship or like friends with benefitship. They're trying to keep you in this like ambiguous relationship where it's like they're there, but they're not all there. It's like they're connected to you, but they're not offering anything more than like kind of circling the wagons, right? It's like they're existing within your orbit, but it feels like they're avoiding some type of big shift or avoiding stepping into the embodiment of being your divine partner or allowing this relationship to move into a state of divine union. It's like they're avoiding destiny. They're avoiding fate. And instead, it feels like they're, just kind of occupying space in your life, but not being intentional. They could be afraid. There could be a fear here around risks. But I feel like they're almost trying to keep you in this like undefined relationship. Okay? Tell me more about this collective. I feel like this collective is the strongest. Tell me about this collective specifically. Yeah, this is somebody that I feel like is emotionally attached but then detached. Like they'll come forward and open their heart and then they'll pull back. They'll come and show you something that feels like the relationship is starting fresh or that there's more hope for the future. Again, it feels like they're being led from this emotional place, this vulnerable place. But then I feel this energy of like them just causing more confusion. Them causing more confusion. So it's like they come back into your life seemingly ready to change or seemingly ready to start fresh. But in this starting fresh, it's like they still, I'm hearing, don't have the answers. They still don't have the answers. And it's like they're still not viewing this relationship from the same perspective. What is this person's view of the relationship currently? Damn. Then in some ways, they feel hopeless because of the circumstances. It's like they feel like in order to be able to claim you, or in order to be able to have like a solid commitment with you, they would have to work on their confidence. And I feel for some of you, this is like the subconscious awareness of them not feeling worthy. It causes them to basically sabotage this relationship. Okay? Sabotaging this relationship. For many of you, this is somebody who comes in and out of your life. But every time they're not actively in your life, they watch everything you do. But they're pretending they don't want to connect with you or they're not communicating with you. But they're like watching every story. They're watching everything you post. They have a bunch of fake accounts. It's like they're looking at your pictures, looking at old videos. It's like they're still connecting to your energy. They're dreaming about you. You're everywhere they are. But all the meanwhile, they're like not communicating with you and like not being direct with you. Because again, there's this feeling of like things aren't balanced or things aren't fair, but they're not willing to concede, right? Not willing to concede. Tell me, what is this person wanting with my collective at this time? This person feels like you're making them suffer. Are some of you like holding out on this person? Like making it harder on them than you would have in the past? Because they're... This is kind of like a, oh, pobrecito, like, oh, poor you energy, right? This is someone who feels like, yeah, you're making them work for it. You're making them suffer, or you're making it hard for them right now. Okay? But truthfully, here's the thing. I don't feel like that's being done intentionally. I feel like on your side, you would never choose to make anyone suffer. Like, you would never be like, I want you to suffer. Like, that's just not in your character or your nature. So I really don't feel like that's an accurate depiction of what you're doing. I feel like that's from this person's bias. Like their internal bias, which is like everyone's out to get them. I feel from your view, you're just finding peace. You're finding peace and you're investing your energy where there's flow, like we said at the beginning. Like whatever brings you a state of harmony in your life, whatever feels stable, you're like, okay, that's what I'm going to give my energy to. Okay? And it's not in any way like cruelty or meant to be a judgment of them. It's just you've learned to secure your foundation first. You've learned to put your own mask on first before you put someone else's on, right? This is not only just for survival, but to be able to find that state of peace and to allow you to feel like your life is in balance. So I feel like this person, yeah, they feel like you're doing this intentionally. Tell me a little bit more about why this person won't offer this commitment. Yeah, for many of you, okay, so for some of you, there is a change here that would have to be made on their side, okay? And I feel like this change can only happen when they start to trust their intuition. Because I feel like their intuition seems like it's not fully activated. I feel like their worldview is a little bit distorted, okay? And I also feel as well there's growth here they have to experience. There's some type of growth here. I feel like a lot of this is happening during the time of fall. There's something about them needing to let go of something that's preventing them from being vulnerable, okay? And for others, I feel like there's travel or a physical distance. But it's like, they still want to see you. This is somebody that I feel like is going to try to see you like in the near future. This is somebody who could have already offered this to you recently. And yeah, they're starting to find more courage here. But the question will be when they come forward, like have they changed? Like, do they have anything to offer you? And I feel like that's a real question. Because I feel for many of you, this is somebody that still is working through some of these issues with confidence. Okay. So any other insight here into this energy in the future path? What is the purpose of this relationship? I feel for many of you, the soul contract of this relationship implies that you activate your higher self and that you continue forward and that this person meets you in that state, right? This person matches you in your power. This person steps into the state of empowerment with you. I just feel like they haven't quite claimed this sovereignty yet. They haven't quite claimed their power just yet, Okay. For some of you, you're dealing with a Leo. I also have Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. I also have Libra. But yeah, I feel this energy of this relationship being something that could bring you so much joy. And there's so much love here, truthfully. But I feel like right now, it's like, from your perspective, this is somebody who you feel like is still avoiding some type of change here. Okay. And is not willing to look at things more optimistically. Like, you're more optimistic. You're more idealistic. I feel like you're allowing spirit to entice you forward or to help you expand beyond. And I feel like on this person's side, there's a little bit more pessimism, more fear, more doubts. Okay. Some of you, it's like, even if you got your heart broken by this person in the past, like, you don't hold it against them. And I will say, I feel like this person kind of holds it against you. It's so interesting. I feel this energy of like, you don't hold it against them because you're somebody who has a difficult time holding grudges, in all honesty. Where this person, I feel like, is holding something against you. What are they holding against my collective at this time? This is such a weird energy. This person is an interesting case. Okay. Patient zero over here. This is somebody that is holding against you the fact that their third eye is screaming at them that the two of you are meant to reunite, but also that that reunion is contingent on their willingness to again embody this power. And they don't like the fact that they feel like this is forced or like destined or preordained. They don't like the fact that this feels like a foregone conclusion, but they don't feel ready for it. So then there's this feeling of like feeling small or like intimidated by this awareness, like this strong inner awareness that this reality already exists. Like, this is a future self communicating back to the present self, being like, this is our future path. This is where we will be. This reunion is preordained. It is predetermined. But there's this big part of them that's like holding against you the fact that they feel like they see this clearly, but they don't have the steps to take in order to be able to fully activate in this path. Okay. So it's really interesting. I feel this person is like, it's almost like they know your relationship and your connection and its purpose to be so powerful and so profound in their life, but they're doing everything in their awareness to block that power. They're doing everything in their capacity to be like, I don't want this power to overcome me. I don't want to give in to this. I don't want to surrender to this. I don't want this to control me. And I'm like, damn, like, it's like, it's taking so much more energy to just oppose this. So much more energy to just oppose this and to just accept this lovingly. And I feel like on your side, you're kind of unbothered by this. Because you know this to be this person's defense mechanism. And like, you're feeling good right now. I feel a spark on your side. Like, you're having fun. I feel like you're not willing to attach yourself to somebody right now who is trying to control themselves and keep themselves in a place of like suffering or discomfort or unhappiness or not having what they deserve. And like, it doesn't have to be like suffering, but like, that's kind of what it is. It's like this person over here wants to keep them in this place, keep themselves in this place in which they say, I'm not going to commit to something because I'm afraid of losing it, or I'm afraid that I'm going to get hurt, or I'm afraid things won't work out. So they're basically preventing themselves from having anything that they actually desire. Because again, there's a fear around it and a feeling of unworthiness, but they're controlling everything in their life to keep themselves in that place. But all the meanwhile, like, you are unburdened. You are this like spark that is just transcending this. So I feel like your energies are very opposing at this time. Okay. And I feel for many of you, your view of this person is that they're isolating themselves, and you don't want to be isolated. You don't want to be isolated anymore. Okay. So within this collective, the advice moving forward, there is prospective union here within this collective, even with this energy that seems so obstinate. Okay. And I feel like the best way to operate in this space is to actually continuing to send this person nurturing energy from a distance. Like, I do feel for many of you, maybe you do have to, if there isn't an official separation here, maybe create some space in between the two of you in order for this collective to continue to feel emboldened by this spark of inspiration. Because I feel for many of you, what you're not recognizing is the energy around you is the energy that affects you, right? Vibrationally. So like, for instance, if you're having the best day and you're like, oh, this is an amazing day. The sun is shining. This is, everything is coming up Millhouse. It's just the most amazing experience, the best breakfast. I had a good workout. I went and took a walk and the sun was shining. And then someone comes up to you and they're like, did you know that feline AIDS is the #1 killer of adult cats, and like we're all gonna die someday. Like that type of energy, just dark clouds, dark clouds, dark clouds in your face. And it's like, that's going to affect you energetically, right? That's going to affect you. That's going to shift your energy to the extent where you're not going to be able to maintain that spark, that expansion, okay, that many of you have been experiencing. This new light that's now within you. For the first time in a long time, I feel for many of you, it's like, you can't feel guilty. You can't feel guilty about claiming this spark for yourself. You can't feel guilty about using this fire, using this power to propel you forward. Okay. For many of you, I feel like you in the past would have felt guilty. Okay. For not sharing it with this person or not like helping bring them forward with you. But yeah, we have to let this wallowing energy. Okay. Yeah. So final insight into the future for this relationship based on the current energy. There is a lot of growth here, okay? I actually feel like I said for many of you, there is going to be a new opportunity in this connection. I feel for some of you, it does come after an ego death on this person's side, okay? And this ego death comes after they try to plant new seeds that do not germinate. After they try to continue to grow in a space in which there isn't opportunity to grow. The ego death is going to come when they recognize that their truth is not actually their truth. And when they miss and crave this passion, this chemistry, this desire that you offered, and they realize the only way they can claim this is to be brave. It's the only way. It's the only way forward. The only way out is through. And within this collective, I feel like you've already learned this. And I do feel like for most of you right now, you're still like occasionally speaking to this person. And you might even have recently felt like maybe it's time to put some boundaries in place. This would be a good confirmation for you. Okay, that you need to put some boundaries in place because I feel for some of you, this person is affecting you energetically. Okay, and there might be an old pattern here that is coming through for you. Okay, so final advice for this collective moving forward and into some general messages, please. Many of you have already had this intuitive nudge from your guides. Okay, you've recently received downloads that there is magic available to you if you allow yourself to unlock it. Okay, some of this magic is only available, again, if you can continue to focus on your own path and not allow yourself to get affected by someone else who I feel like is still on another timeline or still in this other journey. Okay? This is your journey. This is your journey. And I feel for many of you, you've recently been receiving a lot of messages in dream state. A lot of messages in dream state. You could also be a Pisces. I feel Pisces energy in this collective, Cancer energy in this collective, Libra, Taurus. Okay? Many of you recently have just felt your guides were speaking to you more directly, have felt this push to be able to enjoy the success and the happiness that you have fought for. Okay? I feel, and for most of you, okay, there's a song called Nature Boy, and Spirit was just sharing that message with me, okay? And it says, the greatest thing that we can do, okay, the only thing that we are meant to do is to love and be loved, right? I feel this energy in this collective of allowing yourself at this time to love and be loved. Love and be loved. Oh, boy. Yeah. I feel this energy of now at this time, allowing yourself to love and be loved and know that that is the greatest form of success that we can experience. Okay, there's no greater victory that we can accomplish that is going to provide you more fulfillment because that really is our purpose. That is what we're meant to do here. That is why we're here. It's to love and be loved. So for many of you, it's like right now we are receiving a lot of intuitive messages. I feel like many of you, the intuitive messages around you being able to enjoy where you are in your journey and not allowing this circumstance for this person or any other situation in your life or anything from your past to disrupt that. Because it has been a difficult journey up until this time. But for many of you, the insistence here, the encouragement is to see the greatest expression of this success and this happiness is just to receive love from everything or everyone around you who can offer it to you. And I don't mean like romantically. I mean like love in the sense in which you are spending time with your beloved family members or your pets or your friends, or the love that you can experience when you're, sitting in front of a beautiful oak tree or feeling the sun kiss your cheeks. There's so many different forms of love that we can experience on a daily basis. This hollow, singly dimensional view of love limits us in terms of the full spectrum of experience that we get to exist within on a daily basis. So for many of you, it's like open your heart to all of the forms of love that you can now receive. Okay? Final advice for this collective moving forward. Thank you, Susie. Okay, higher forces are guiding you and this energy. Okay, but there is peace here first and foremost. We're not doing free questions right now. So in order to be able to find peace, we are first releasing the old, and some of you are being called to rest. But beyond this, I want you to recognize the importance of this moment in terms of setting a new intention. I feel for many moons within this collective, you settled. And I don't just mean in love. I mean in love, I mean in career, I mean in like family situations, I mean in life, I mean in the home that you were in, the car you're driving, whichever it was. You settled, you accepted whatever was offered, or you accepted whatever was there. And I feel like this is a collective that is now being encouraged to see the power that they have to call in everything that they desire, anything they desire, whether that's a dream partner, okay? Whether that's a beautiful career path, or whether that's a beautiful new home. Within this collective, you have the ability to set your sights beyond where you are. You can call in anything that you desire. But you are being encouraged at this time to no longer settle, to no longer compromise, and set a high bar for yourself. Set a high bar for yourself. So we can look at this relationship and like you're standing on business here. You are standing your ground here as this first, but not last, declaration of your awareness of your worth. Full stop. When you stand up for yourself, when you are seen on the record, when you send those resonant sound signals to the universe, to spirit, and they see you standing up for yourself and saying, hell no, I deserve someone who's going to invest in me, someone who's going to build with me, or just somebody who's emotionally ready for a relationship. Because for many of you, this is someone who's still connected to you, who you're still talking to, but they don't seem ready. They're not fighting for this in the way that you are. Okay? And they're dealing with a lot of their own issues. And I feel for many of you, like it's draining the hell out of your energy. So I feel like it is being able to say, what does my ideal partner look like? Like, how do they show up in my life? Or how do they support me? Or what does our day-to-day look like? What does that relationship look like? And carry that forward into all areas of your life. I feel within this collective, there is this inner knowing that you deserve better. But perhaps for some time, there have been opposing forces within us that have fought against that inner knowing. So this is very complex. Okay? I feel within this collective, some of you have a mother wound or a father wound, but you have an early wound that was created that told you you are unworthy of being loved or being seen or being chosen or being nurtured. And right now, at this time within this collective, which again, that's an injustice. That's an injustice being committed and you not receiving like the parents that you deserved, the childhood that you deserved, the upbringing that you deserved. But that was the experience that you had. There was this injustice. There was this lack of fairness, right? And in that lack of fairness, in that karmic injustice, a version of you was created that did not believe they were worthy of love. Okay? Did not believe they were worthy. But the more that you have healed, the more that you have expanded, another version of you has been created. This version of you believes. This version of you knows that you are worthy. But now it feels like you are fighting these two opposing views within you. This prior version of self that doesn't believe they're worthy. Okay? And this present version of self that says, hell, yes, I am worthy. Okay? Damn right I am worthy. So I feel this challenge in trying to find the balance between these two opposing forces. And I will tell you this, in order to correct this, we need to correct the injustice. What keeps us stuck in old patterns, belief systems? Loops, karmic loops. Okay? This one, karmic injustice loop that you've been carrying forward for many of you for years, for decades. The sense of this wasn't fair. This wasn't right. How do we correct that injustice? Well, we give ourselves the childhood that we deserved, or we see ourselves in the way that that parent didn't, or we love ourselves in the way that that parent couldn't, right? Couldn't. I say couldn't intentionally. And as we love ourselves in the way in which that parent could not, we now correct this injustice. And when we correct this injustice and we find a state of forgiveness, yes, we are able to, in some sense, deactivate that version of self that feels unworthy because it was born out of that injustice, okay? So within this collective, we are finding a state of rebalancing in our energy. We're finding a state of rebalancing in our energy. And we are planting new seeds that are now growing. But you have to decide which version of you is leading the path moving forward. Which version of you is choosing your path? Is it the version of you that felt unworthy, that was created out of said injustice? Or is it a version of you that is now coming forward, that is victorious, that is feeling confident, that is feeling empowered, that says, damn right, I'm worthy. Okay? Only you can answer that question. I hope that message was helpful for my collective, sending so much love, positive energy, and abundance. If you enjoyed that collective message, 1111 down below. I hope your new self.